Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show with your hosts, Wayne and Gabby.
Hey, good morning, everyone.
Welcome to the Real Estate Investing Morning Show, the Canadian Real Estate Investing Morning Show. We're so happy to have you guys here. On today's show, I'm going to be interviewing my wife, Gabby.
Hey, what? I like it. I like it when you do this.
Yeah, when I just surprise you, just like,
yeah.
pow.
Well, you gave me a few minutes. I did
gave her a
write
heads up
down a couple
ago.
notes on the topic, but we'll see if you stump me or if you fluster me or if I'm good.
All right. Well, yes, I'm very excited for today's show because I want to dive into more of the feelings and the emotions about being a real estate investor. Many of you listeners and investors, I guess, whether you be new investors or experienced investors, I deal with a lot of emotions and feelings around it, and I know that it's an emotional endeavor. Put it that way.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Sometimes I just wonder if you're having a stroke or something.
Did I black out? It's an emotional endeavor. If it were easy, everybody would do it. But I know that so many people are so incredibly passionate about it because of the things that it's going to create for you and for your life and for your family and for your future generations. Just on the topic of family and future generations, we had a lovely day yesterday with our daughter. It was our daughter's 11th birthday. Yeah, come on in, sweetheart. Yeah. Our daughter Everly, it was her 11th birthday yesterday, and they had a lovely day together. And you guys went off and did your own, girls thing, and then we caught up with each other, and we had dinner, and we had cake, and had a soccer game. What's that?
Open presents.
Open presents, and then we had a soccer game. So what a really, really lovely day. And we all do this for ourselves, right? We are selfish beings, and we want to create the best lives for ourselves, but we also want to create the best life for our kids and their kids in the future as well. So that's what today's conversation is going to be all about, is about, the journey of real estate investing, why we do it. And I just got some questions for Gabby because rumor has it, a few people have been speaking that Gabby is not getting an opportunity to speak enough. So we're gonna take the gag off Gabby. And
thanks. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We're gonna take the muzzle off, and let's hear how Gabby feels. Before everybody embarks on their day, I'm sure you guys are curious what the weather's looking like outside. It's pretty early, so allow our weather girl to fill you in on what to expect from the weather across Canada today.
The weather today will be 18 degrees in Edmonton, 19 degrees in Vancouver, 21 degrees in Winnipeg, 12 degrees in Toronto, and 16 degrees in Halifax.
Excellent. Thanks, Evie.
Another year around the sun. Maybe this year you'll remember to clear your throat before you get on the microphone.
Evil glare. She did great.
I know.
She also isn't feeling well, so she does have a sore throat. She's a little stuffed
up. Karma.
Oh.
Son, I just got like an overwhelming amount of carbon dioxide in my chest. What the heck happened there? Yeah. Was that karma?
Probably.
Oh my God. It was just instant. It was like I needed a puffer for the first time since I was 4. My God. You were saying?
I don't know. Oh, Evie's sick. Evie isn't feeling well. Yeah, we'll give her a break.
I think I just got it. What the hell was that? Oh.
She cast a spell on her way out the room.
Okay. Who do we got joining us in the live show today? We are live on YouTube, by the way. If you guys want to join us live at 7 o'clock every weekday morning, you can join us on YouTube. All you got to do is just look up Wayne Hillier, really that simple, and then it'll say, Wayne is live. But you might have to subscribe in order to get that notification. Yes. Do you get notifications when I go live?
Yep. Yeah, it's a little delayed, but yeah, eventually a little pop-up comes up and you can click on it and it'll take you right into the live. But yeah, when you're here live with us, if you say hello, then we'll know that you're here. If you don't say hello, we don't know you're here. So for right now, I see that we have Chris here with us. Good morning, Chris.
Chris.
Yeah, Chris says that it's sunny and 16 degrees in the Hammer today. Is that Hamilton?
You betcha, brother.
Is Chris in Hamilton?
Yeah.
Isn't Hamilton like that's the airport, that one of the airports, right? And isn't it like very?
It has an airport.
Isn't
Yes.
it like very industrial?
Very industrial. That's a real. It's a knuckle town. They call it Ham Town.
Okay, the Hammer. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Very masculine.
Yeah.
We have Nori here. Nori's in Vancouver. Good morning, Nori.
Good morning.
What did we say the Vancouver weather was? I hope it's a beautiful day for you
I
guys.
didn't write it down.
Okay. Anastasia, is this your first time joining us on the YouTube channel?
What?
Or have you been, joining us quietly, not saying hello? Or am I just forgetting that you've been around?
Is Gabby having a stroke?
We have Carmen here. Good morning to Carmen. Kirsten says good morning all. Who else do we got here? Manny. Hey, Manny. Manny says good morning, everyone. Chris says nobody likes Toronto. You can change the weather back to Dunnville. Okay. Good to know. Keep the requests coming in.
Yeah. Okay.
Kyla is here. Good morning, Kyla.
Mm-hmm.
Kyla has a comment here. I haven't read through it, but it says, I guess people don't know Gabby teaches a lot. She has coaching calls and she is very impactful in our mentorship calls in the RI Masters mentorship group. People don't know what they don't know.
That is true.
Thanks, Kyla. Yeah,
that is
I might be a little bit quiet here, but definitely, that's not always the case.
I talk a lot.
Yeah, you talk a lot, and we also cover a lot of topics on the podcast that are just more in your area of what you do in our business.
My wheelhouse,
right?
yeah.
And so it's not that I don't know about them or that, I couldn't speak on them if I had a one-on-one conversation with somebody. It's just that if we're going to, have a topic, you're going to have a lot to say, and I'm going to do a lot of, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Fabian says you're a boss lady.
Oh, thanks,
100%.
Fabian. Got Fabian here. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Thanks. Yeah,
did you
I
say hi to
appreciate that.
Josh?
Not yet.
Oh,
I wasn't
hi, Josh.
done. I wasn't
Oh,
done.
sorry. I thought you were done.
We have Stacy here. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning.
We have Charn. Charn says, hello, GM, everyone.
Good morning.
Dennis. Good morning, Dennis. And yes, Josh. Josh says, Vancouver weather, rain. Always rain. That's not true. Vancouver gets some nice, beautiful weather. And they have like all of their flowers in full bloom right now. So sucks to be us.
Don't forget to say hi to Steve.
Oh, good morning, Steve.
Yes.
Steve just popped in there.
So here's my question for you, Gabby. Here's my question for Gabby. Gabby, tell me. I'm just diving right into it, guys.
Okay. Pleasantries are over.
I want to know. I kind of know, but I want to hear what you're going to say today on the spot.
When you say I want to know, does anybody else, I want to know, I want to know from the audience, does anybody else have, he says, I want to know, and then in my head it automatically goes, if he really loves me, there's always songs going on whenever you say anything.
We'll cut that out.
Please, anybody else? Did anybody else have that? Okay, go ahead.
What's your favorite part about building our real estate investment business so far? I want to know.
Thank you, Wayne. Yes. Okay, so I really like this question because I think like you gave me a heads up that you were going to kind of, around this topic. And I think there's a couple different things that I really like about our real estate investing business. But first and foremost, above everything.
What's your favorite? I said favorite. You're gonna break this into like three different
No,
things.
No. I'm not. I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay,
I'm going
what's
to
your
tell you what
favorite?
my favorite thing.
What's your favorite
about this real estate investing business is? And it's really the lifestyle that it's created. And I think that for me and for a person like me, so I don't know if this resonates with anybody, but I have a hard time like visioning what the future holds and like dreaming big about like, you know, what I want and what I want to create out of our lives and that sort of thing. And so it takes me a while to like come around to see what the possibilities are. And so to have landed somewhere because of this real estate investing business where it's provided this lifestyle that I would have never dreamt possible. And so when I say this lifestyle, like we basically have ultimate like time freedom, right? And
Yeah.
so that has really allowed us to do things like I never in my wildest dreams thought that I wanted or thought that it was possible to be like homeschooling Everly,
Mm.
right? For both of us to be home every day, for her to be working like alongside me in my office, coming to me with math questions when they come up, like just like that kind of, those kind of moments hit you where it's like, wow, a lot of people don't even have the option to do this. Like it's not even a possibility for them. Right. And so it's like, it's those little moments of like, wow, like this freedom is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. So now I get to swear, right?
It's hard not to when you get passionate about things.
100%. Yeah. And I just like, and I'll just go back and say it that like, I didn't know that that would be something that I wanted. And it took me, it took me kind of like having the opportunity to be like, oh, whoa, this is what's possible. You know what I mean? And it's just like, so things like that, like homeschooling Everly, but then also like being able to work beside you every day as well. And, you know, sometimes that's not always a positive thing. Sometimes I wish that I could just like leave the house and go to work for the day, but most times that's not the case. Sorry, I have to poke you a little bit too. Because it does come with its own challenges working with your spouse all the time and owning businesses with your spouse. It's like, you know, business can be on all day, every day. So there are ways that you need to be intentional in making sure that that's not the case. But the opportunity to have that is like, I think that most people, again, it's not even in the realm of possibility.
Yeah.
So to have that as our reality is just something super special. And to have our little family together all day, every day, being able to do whatever we want all the time is just, it seems kind of simple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're not off like on private jets and yachts and, you know, traveling the world 12 months out of the year, like all the time. But that's not actually what I want.
Most people aren't anyways.
Yeah, and it's just
That's a hallmark dream that people sell people in order to sell courses and stuff.
absolutely.
No one with kids is doing that. Like
Yeah.
they have to go to school. Or in this case, you know, we've been
Yeah.
fortunate enough to be able to create that flexibility to be able to teach our daughter at home.
Yeah.
And I love your little setup, as simple as it might be. I love that you designed your office, and that was a big dream of yours for a very long time. You're like, I just want my own fucking space. I want to put up just my own colors. I want it to be my thing. I don't want to be in this room over here. I want my thing. And so we built it out for you, and then we built it out never with intention, or never intending, but you know, to have Everly's little office there as well, and she got to set it up and design it her way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the simplicity of it all is really what appeals to me. I'm not a super lavish person, and like, I even like as a kid, like if you would have asked me like, and when people do ask you, it's like, oh, what do you want to be, or what kind of house do you want to live in when you grow up? It was always like I always said that I wanted to be a farmer, like animals, because like I love animals.
Yeah.
And then I also always said, which doesn't coincide with each other, because I didn't say I wanted to live on a farmhouse, but I always said like I'd like to live in like a little apartment in the city.
Right.
Like that was always my dream. And so I'm like deep inside, I'm just like a simple gal. And I love the simplicity of just what we've created. Like I never thought it would have been possible, but at the same time, there's a simplicity to it. You know what I mean? And yeah, I just like, so the lifestyle is definitely like the big number one favorite thing that has come out of this real estate investing business that we've created. And I also just, when I reflect on that, I reflect on so that time freedom, I think like we can compare like, you know, there's people who do shift work. I have so many people in my life that do shift work. There's like most of them are nurses actually. So like there people doing shift work, people working 9 to 5 where they need to leave their house and drop off the kids at school, pick them up. How do we, you know, arrange these? Who's going to pick them up from school? Like, you know, those types of things.
Well, a big part of the culture here in Alberta is people working. I'd say like half the people work on some form of like a 7-and-7 schedule.
Yeah, that was the other one, like 7 days on, 7 days off, which some people might be like, oh, that sounds so cool. Like to me, that sounds terrible to be away from my family for 7 days.
Yeah.
Everybody's different, so that's no judgment at all. But that isn't what I would want for my life. And so then you like, I think about how do these people, except maybe the 7 on 7 off, but like, how do these people arrange like their kids' medical appointments or like going to the dentist? You start thinking about these simple things that I now take for granted because it's just, this has been my life for so long.
Yeah.
And I love remembering these things because like I remember back in my early 20s, I used to work like evening shift work. Sorry, not evening shift work. I used to work the evening shift at 2 different jobs that I worked at. And I loved it because I had the morning where I can book appointments and stuff.
Yeah.
But without it, like you're screwed.
Yeah.
If you work every day, Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., you have to take a day off to book an appointment. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Some people are listening right now being like, that's not crazy. That's what I do. That's what I have to do.
I know. And to me, I'm just like, it's those little things that you don't think about anymore.
I know it's been a very long time for us to even like think about that. That sounds ridiculous to us. Like if you were planning, let's just think about it this way. If you were planning out your life and you were designing your life and someone said, maybe we should have it set up where if you ever need to book any appointments to go for a chiropractor, massage, drop off your vehicle for service or anything along those lines, you have to go to your boss and ask them if it's okay that you take the morning or the day off to go drop off your vehicle to get the headlights replaced.
Yeah.
And to have to deal with your boss's reaction and guilting you into feeling bad about the fact that you had to do something. Or more importantly, let's say maybe you had to take your kid for an orthodontist appointment. And they're like, is there nobody else that can take them? And making you feel bad about something that you have to do as a parent. Yeah. Imagine designing a life like that. You would look at that and be like, that's the dumbest fucking idea ever.
Who even thinks of that?
Who even comes up with that? But that's just life for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that just ridiculous?
Yeah. Yeah. So it really is that time freedom, I think, which comes with just creating this like lifestyle that is so beautiful that I didn't know was possible. And that's definitely like my favorite thing about this.
Do you like anything about like the business side?
It's just about to say, but there is, because
like,
your question was kind of funny.
What's that?
Your question was kind of funny.
Okay.
Because it opened it up for me to answer it however I wanted to.
That's fair.
And so I wanted to start on my actual favorite thing because I'm not going to bullshit you and tell you that, you know, working in this business is my favorite thing. Because it's not.
I wouldn't expect you.
I appreciate what it's provided, but I don't love my day-to-day tasks or the job that I have to do to make this possible. But what I also do love about this business and about this industry as a whole, and you know what we've created, is the concept of leverage. Like that is my favorite part about real estate investing, because I think that anybody, literally anybody who has the means to save up a down payment for one property, like their home or, you know, or a rental property, and they keep renting, I don't care what it is. If you have the means to save up one down payment, you can take advantage of leverage. And so I think it's so cool that in this business, we can just literally buy something, sit on it for a period of time, and build equity, grow profits, and be able to eventually access them to build and grow so much more.
Yeah.
And that's really what we did, is we started with one down payment. And of course, we implemented all these other like cool strategies, and we brought in joint ventures and all those other things to really amplify what we did. But at its core, our growth came from leverage. And so being able to access that equity and access those profits and to start building a bigger portfolio and other businesses. And it's like that realization that had we started with the same amount of money in any other business, we'd have, well, literally nothing. We wouldn't have had enough to do anything
We would
with
just
it.
have whatever we put in.
It would just be like a little savings that we sat on and probably spent eventually because the car broke down or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
So the fact that we put it to work in purchasing a property and it all grew from there. I think that people don't realize, like when people look in on this business, or maybe even people I knew from my past, whether that be people I went to school with or that I worked with previously, they might see what we're doing and be like how
Yeah.
did they get like some massive inheritance? Did they win the lottery? Did they make some wild investment and, struck
It
rich
paid
off
off?
of it? It paid off. I think that's what people think it requires to like build what we've built. But literally, I'm telling you, it started with one down payment.
Yeah.
One down payment on one property.
Do you want to say how much it was?
I don't. You tell me because I don't remember. It's pitiful, like 15,000 or something.
15,000. Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
15,000. That's all it was.
$15,000. Yeah. And we built and grew what we have today.
Tens of
And
millions. Yeah.
that is, I guess, my favorite part about this business.
Yeah. I thank you for sharing. We don't ever talk about this very much.
And I think also, if I'll go back to what I was saying about the whole, like what I was saying in the lifestyle part of it is that, I'm a simple gal. I have a hard time seeing the possibilities, seeing the future, seeing what's possible, and really being able to have those dreams for myself. And it took probably over a decade or maybe around a decade for me to be like, oh, this is what we were building, or this is what we were, making happen. I didn't know this was what was possible.
It's hard to see it.
It is hard to see it because, when you buy your first rental property or whatever it may be, you're not rolling in cash. It's all just behind the scenes. It's all quietly building your long-term wealth.
Don't be fooled by anybody that goes and buys a Lambo after getting 2 properties.
Yeah.
that suddenly you're financially free.
Yeah.
No, it's a long process, but it's hard for people to see the gears that are moving in the background and what they're actually creating. And it is slow, but it's steady. And if you can be patient and learn the different types of strategies and the way to build out your business, it will actually grow and pay dividends. And those dividends you can leverage, or that equity that you can leverage, that equity in the background, you can leverage that and create so much more.
Yeah.
As long as you understand how to do it and that you're patient, right? But if I see too many people just trying to force it too quickly.
Yeah.
And when they force it too quickly, they're just trying to squeeze the juice out before it's ready.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
for sure.
so patience and understanding how to leverage, like which levers are the most important that you should be focusing on in this business, it compounds. The success compounds.
Yeah.
And I love everything about it too. I'm so glad that you brought this up.
Yeah. And so I'm just looking at the time. I think we need to take a quick break, but I'm hoping that if you're okay with it, I know this is all supposed to be about me, but after the break, I would love to ask you a similar question, if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
All right, we'll get right into it. We'll be right back.
You are a professional real estate investor. You are not a professional boxer. And you are definitely not a professional bookkeeper. Enter Fingo. Fingo is a professional bookkeeping service by and for professional real estate investors. Your life just got a whole lot easier, and your profits are ready to soar. Leave the bookkeeping to Fingo so you can focus on what's most important, finding the next deal and raising money for it. Schedule your free consultation at fingo.com.
Good morning to Phil. Phil is joining us on the show for the first time in a long time.
Good morning, Phil.
Good to see you back.
Why did Chris say sorry, Gab? What was happening there? Oh, did he leave me out to dry on the song?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Not sure. Yeah. Carmen also made a comment earlier saying that Gabby has great info on being a property manager. Just for clarification, Gabby is not a property manager, but she manages our whole portfolio.
Yeah.
And for those of you guys that want to learn more about how to manage your own portfolio, because you need a license in order to be a property manager. And so, but you can manage your own portfolio. And so all of our properties and all the properties that we own with joint venture partners, all of our rent-to-own properties, all of our seller financing properties, like everything, the whole portfolio, the whole caboodle, Gabby oversees. But what she's done is that she's created systems to do it remotely. And if you haven't heard about our remote property management company, I highly recommend, remote property management course.
It's like, a new company.
We have a new, yeah, sorry, hon, another company. No, our remote property management course. You can find it on our website at reimasters.ca. Gabby will literally teach you how to build out a whole system to manage your properties remotely. So Gabby manages all of our portfolio, all the different properties across all the different businesses, all the different types. And she does it without ever having to actually go to any of them.
Yeah.
So she does it remotely from her office or from her phone, so that she's built out systems and procedures for everything. And then we just have people that go and do the in-person stuff. So if that's something that you're interested in, I highly recommend it because property management can be a little costly. And sometimes it's hard for people to find cash flow when you have to add in 5, 10, 15% of your rent towards property management. And it's not just about the cost either. It's also about the control. Me personally, I don't like passing off the responsibility to someone who doesn't have an equitable interest in the decisions. So if you are interested in learning how to manage your own portfolio, and maybe you're at a point like a roadblock right now or a hurdle where you're like, you want to scale your portfolio more, but you're afraid of the extra responsibilities and being able to manage a portfolio that big. Gabby does it and she teaches it. So go to our website, go check out that course. I highly recommend it.
Can I just add something to that? I just also want to say that you don't necessarily need to be managing them remotely. You can be still relatively hands-on and find value in this course because it's really about the systems. It comes down to just the systems and managing your properties properly, or, I don't know if proper is the right word, but efficiently.
Yeah.
And so that can be either by doing it remotely and being hands off, or by being hands on and just having the proper systems in place. So I just wanted to clarify that because it's massively beneficial to anyone who's managing their own properties in any capacity. And I'll also just add that since we were talking about me and what I love about this in my journey a bit is that something else that I didn't realize is what my capacity is or how big my capacity could grow. When we started, I was totally freaked out and a total mess managing one property. Okay.
She was a wreck.
If somebody told me that I would have the portfolio size that I have now and that I'm managing them myself on my own.
Over 50. I'll just say people are going to ask, and I don't like talking about our portfolio size. It's none of your fucking business how much is in our personal investments. Let's just say over 50. Okay. Across Alberta.
Yeah. And so if somebody would have said that to me on day one when we had bought our first property, I would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you? No, thank you. Peace out. I'm out of here. But as you grow and as your business grows, you grow together and your capacity increases. And I guess that's something that I just didn't know I was capable of. And I think we all doubt ourselves and there's, that exists for everybody. We don't fully know what our capacity is until we're there dealing with it and go, me a year ago or me 5 years ago definitely would not have been able to handle what I'm handling now. And I'm not even sweating. It's easy. So I guess I just wanted to say that to give some of you hope if that's something that you're worried about. Like, I can barely handle this one. What am I going to do? Well, first of all, get the right systems in place. And second of all, give yourself a little bit of you can do this. You got this.
It goes with the theme of this week, and that's you just don't know what you don't know, right? But if you knew, you would feel as confident as we do and as confident as Gabby does.
Yeah.
I see a couple people in the comments who have taken that course. They said Gabby's got it down to a science, and the ability to self-manage at scale is so powerful. Thank you, Josh. And then another person said, the course is great. Me and my wife took it, and it has tons of value for the cost. Highly recommend. And that is someone named the Southside Strangler.
What the? Okay.
Thanks for tuning in.
We have listeners of all types. Okay.
We got friends in low places.
As you were reading that, I was like, wait, what?
It's
Luke.
It's
okay, he
Luke.
said, "Hey,
It's
Luke."
Luke.
He said me and my wife, and that's immediately what I thought. I was like, "Is that Luke?" I'm like, "Okay, Luke, if that's you, you need."
You
to
saw
change your name."
Southside Strangler, and you thought Luke.
Okay. So Wayne, I said that I wanted to ask you a similar question on the topic that we were talking about. So we talked about, my favorite thing about real estate investing. And what I really want to know from you, and what I think will be cool for the listeners, is you are like 100% through and through an entrepreneur. I feel like you always have been. Maybe you didn't pursue it right away, like as a kid or as a teenager or even a young adult, but you landed on real estate investing. Why?
Initially, it was because of a very simple quote that I heard, which was that 90% of self-made millionaires made their wealth through real estate. And at that stage in my life, as a early 20-year-old, that resonated with me. And I didn't really have any other mentors or any role models to really lean on to be able to get advice for what to do with my life at that stage. I was successful in my career and the decisions that I made in life in my early 20s. In my teens, I can't say very much about my decisions in my teenage years, but when I got into my 20s, I started making better decisions. I started, really making some big pivotal moves, and got myself into a position where I was successful in almost every campaign or endeavor that I pursued. But at that stage, it was all very much just me and climbing the corporate ladder, or not the corporate ladder, but like climbing the career ladder. Mm-hmm. And when I reached, a certain peak, like I said, I didn't really have any role models or anyone to really mentor me. And so that quote just I look back on that quote and I'm just like, that's such a stupid quote. Like who even did the research? You know what I mean? Or who did the poll to be able to determine that number?
90%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not a moron. I'm not naive now. I'm like, that's such a stupid quote. And I hate throwing around gimmicky stuff like that because it just sells stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's a sales quote.
Yeah.
But that's what did it for me originally, and that's what kind of opened that door ever so slightly into me doing research on it. Now, from that quote, that's where ultimately when I started doing my own research. And as I started dedicating myself to it and learning everything about it, that's when I realized that the math checked out. And I had been looking at lots of different avenues for building wealth, or for investing, mainly because we started making a lot more money, and I didn't want to just take the newfound income that we were making and savings that we were putting away and just instantly start improving our lifestyle automatically, which is what most people do, especially in Alberta. It's like if someone got a pay raise, it's instantly just like their truck just gets about 3 or 4 inches higher.
So true.
Right?
So true.
Or there's a new quad strapped in the back of it. But that's how you know someone just got a pay raise, or they just got back from, a 3-week rotation. So I just didn't want to go that route, and I'd worked so hard to get to a position where I was, and I wanted to be able to invest, the new earned income that we were bringing in, and also the savings. So Originally, it was for investment purposes, and I liked the idea of it, and I did my research on it. I'm like, okay, this checks out. I do believe that most people that, have become millionaires have done it through real estate investments. That seemed to check.
Okay, so then what was it about real estate that did make it so obvious to you? Like, what in your research, what was it that was like, oh, okay, this does check out?
It was the math of it. It was, because you compare it to other things. You brought up leverage.
Yeah.
You brought up leverage, which was one of the biggest things. Like, wow, holy shit! Like, I'm comparing everything, and this is, I did a very quote unquote controversial video. It was a pulled quote from a recent podcast episode we did, where I was mocking people that said, the stocks are better than real estate investing. Right. They get better returns, and I said, yeah, absolutely, they can get better returns, and it's like, it's such a broad statement. Like, yeah, well, what do you mean stocks? Which one? You know what I mean? Like, there's how many companies can you invest in? How many different stocks can you invest in? Or it's like, oh, no, just the S&P. I'm like, okay, but like, how do you know that? Based on the things that we teach you guys every day, this is what I learned early on, is that like, there is an almost guaranteed amount of return that you can get as long as you build out the right systems. So I learned all the different systems and the different ways to be able to build out procedures and systems for things to basically just like almost set gates to make sure that our returns are relatively not guaranteed, but expected. So the mortgage paid on the cash flow, ensuring that I put aside enough money and I allocate enough funds towards repairs and maintenance, capital expenditures, and potential vacancies. I have enough money set aside for all of those things. The rest is almost guaranteed profits as long as you hold the property for the long term. Again, it's like, as long as you set the right gates, you can understand, like, you can almost guarantee your returns. Mm-hmm. And I guaranteed very modest low returns. I think I said yesterday, like, if you can get 10 to 15% ROI per year on your investment, that's phenomenal. And then it has potential to be even more. So I think that like my bottom end, my baseline is like 15% for my business, at least 15% yearly, right? Realistically, I hit about 22%, between 17 and 22%, historically, like every year, minimum. But if I can hit like a baseline 15% ROI per year, then with more potential, my baseline is significantly higher than anyone else is doing any other form of investing, because their baseline is like negative 20%.
Right.
Like, they cannot guarantee that. They can't set those gates in order to guarantee their returns. Right? So it's such a reactive, everything else is so reactive. Like, oh my God, I need to sell quick. Oh no, did you hear about this? Oh my God, I need to do this. No, I need to sell quickly, otherwise I'm gonna lose all my gains. Mm-hmm. I need to sell quickly, otherwise I'm gonna lose more. Everything is so reactive. Whereas we just set it and forget it. Yeah. And as long as we play for the long term, the only time we ever need to figure out what we need to do is when it's the perfect time to sell in order to realize the most amount of gains. Right. I know I'm making money regardless. The only time I ever have to think about it, and the thing that I have to be proactive about, is like, when is the perfect moment for me to sell or refinance in order to realize the gains that I've created? Because it's all built into equity. With the exception of cash flow, which comes every month, which we use to operate our business, the mortgage paid on and the appreciation are all in equity. And I realize that equity profit when I sell or when I refinance. So the only thing I have to do is just watch the market closely to see when is my property appraised at the best possible value, in my opinion, and then sell in order to realize those profits. That's it. But comparing it to other forms of investment, everything else is just like, oh, I need to sell. Hold diamond hands, please, for the love of God, I hope it goes up. It's so fucking pathetic when you compare both, right? So again, if you knew what I knew, you knew what I know, it's really easy. And it's an absolute no-brainer. So when someone says, how come you're not investing in this? I'm just like, if you knew what I know, you would think it's ridiculous. But most people don't know what we know, and they're not willing to invest in education. They're not willing to invest in the proper guidance and coaching. So my opinion is just my opinion, and your opinion is your opinion. We both got assholes. Mazel tov. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to debate someone if they don't understand what I understand and what I know. So I just shut up and I don't pick fights with people. Yeah. Because it's not a fair debate. It's not fair because I know more than you do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet you somebody knows more about, different forms of investing in stocks than I do as well. But I know that the fundamental understanding that theirs is very reactive and they are hoping and praying for something to happen, whereas mine is just based off a long game, right? And I can guarantee my success. And that right there, once I understood that, there was no going back. Ever since, I've just been refining my skills and refining my systems in order to reduce my risks more and more every single day. It's like, how can I reduce my risks more and more and more? And it's the systems that you've created in the property management and the administrative side. And it's the systems that I've created in understanding the market and the trends better. It's like, it's easy. We're just like almost like building our fortress, our castle around us, to just create that level of fortitude, just to protect everything that we built. And then it's just a matter of like bringing in and developing more resources in order to make this castle a home. That's not the best way to explain things, but just from a visual perspective, it's.
Well, you said that. So you said that it was mainly the math. It was the math that made sense. Like if the math makes sense, then you can also bring in that security aspect of it. So if the maths, then you have this level of security surrounding everything that you're doing because the math works, right? Yeah. And it's not just like gambling and not knowing how the math is going to turn out. There's security in knowing that, worst case scenario is really good.
Let me put it this way. If the debate was between anyone else, like if we had to hold a large debate about real estate versus stocks, and anybody else was at the podium other than me, I'm sorry, that sounds cocky as shit, but I'm just being real. Anybody else was at the podium other than me, I can't say with certainty whether they would put up a very strong argument.
Right.
Because I would say 99% of real estate investors, people who are buying real estate, are doing it wrong. And if that's the case, then I would say that it would be a very even debate, because most people I see investing in real estate are and have the ability to lose money. We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. We never have, and we never will, because of those gates that I put up, because of this fortress that we've created around it, like in order to mitigate our losses and mitigate our risks. Like there is no losses to mitigate our risks. Like there's no way. We built solid systems. I know exactly what to do. And there are things that are outside of my control. It doesn't mean that there's no possibility of us ever being attacked by all the different variables in the economy and in the world. There's lots of things that can come in and try and penetrate. But ultimately, we built out this solid defense system that, like, I know what to do in every different circumstance. You can literally hit me in the comments right now, live on YouTube right now, with any fucking scary thing that you think can happen with real estate investing. I have an answer for everything. There's nothing. That's how I can confidently say this. I know it sounded a little cocky there. I said anybody else other than me, but it's just like, I know what I know, and I know how to build it. I know how to protect it, and I know how to teach people how to do it.
Yeah.
And that ego comes from the confidence of just knowing the answer to everything, right?
Yeah.
And again, it's unfair for someone to try and debate me on it because they just don't know what I know. But if someone was open and willing to have a conversation and to be willing to hear what I had to say, and if I could almost, download all of my information and plug it into your foreheads, I think that I'd see a whole lot of nodding heads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I want that opportunity to be able to teach those things to you. That's why I'm here every single morning. That's why we've done this for over 1,000 episodes. I want to. I want everyone to know what I know, because I want everyone to be able to have this. I want everyone to be able to have the level of certainty and confidence to be able to do this, because I think that this could change literally every Canadian's life.
Yeah.
Everyone. And there is more than enough opportunity. I know this mathematically. There is more than enough opportunity for literally every Canadian to have this level of wealth and prosperity. But unfortunately, it's almost like the scale is like tipped like this, from those who know and those who don't know, or those who are ignorant and don't want to learn. Mm-hmm. So to answer your long-winded way to answer your question, I see that someone in the comments here says Gabby's turn in caps locks. It's once I understood that, that's what made it so incredibly obvious for me.
Yeah.
And that's what really opened things up for us. And that's how we've been able to help ourselves, how we've been able to help so many of our investment partners, joint venture partners. That's how we've been able to help so many families who are in terrible situations, where we've been able to acquire their properties using creative strategies, creative financing, and I've been able to help them out of their situations. But now I can help. And it sounds so fucking cliche. And now I want to help you too. Just join my program. It's not the case. You join, don't join. It's entirely up to you. It's your fucking decision. I made a decision in my life to create a better life for myself. And it would be an absolute fucking shame and a crime for me to keep all this to myself.
Yeah.
If I would not be able to die peacefully knowing that I knew all of this and I didn't share it. Right? So here it is. I am sharing it live every morning. I donate 1 hour of my day every morning. I get up early every fucking morning to answer any questions you have, to teach you guys all of this. It is here. I donate that. That's 1 hour of my 24 hours every day, or 1 hour of my how many waking hours every day? 17?
Sure.
I give it every single fucking day, right? This is not a greedy thing. But if you want my time, if you want my additional time, the remaining 16 or 17 hours that I have in the day to run my businesses, to grow my business, to live the life that I want to live, spend my time with my family and my daughter, that costs money, right? So if you want my time, it costs money. And I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I do want to share this with people. I really do. I absolutely want everyone to have access to this, because like it's a fucking miracle that I stumbled on this. You think of all the pivotal moments in your life, the moments you're like, wow, had I not done that, I would have never. Mm-hmm. The sheer fucking odds mathematically of me stumbling on this idea and meeting the right people when I did, and reading the right thing when I read it, is so astronomically improbable.
Yeah.
Right? Had I not done this in this moment, or had I not even given it the time of day to just look at it and be like, I would not be where I am today. So I'm trying to increase the odds for more people. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to spit this out with a huge amplifier, just as much as I can, as loud as I can, in order for people to hear it, right? And I hope that you guys hear it. I hope that it resonates in your eardrum, so that you have that moment, and then you actually apply yourself like I did in order to learn all of these different things and change your life too.
Yeah.
Was that your question?
Yeah. You blew the question out of the water and added to it, I guess. But I do have another question now that you got through that, because you talked about, I guess like scratching an entrepreneurial itch. You talked about giving back. You talked about all the stuff to do with actual real estate investing. So my question for you then is just basically returning the question that you asked me in the beginning, which is like, what is your favorite part about being a full-time real estate investor, about this business, about doing what you do? Is it easy, or is that a hard question to ask?
If I answer it honestly and authentically, I shouldn't worry about what people are going to think about me, but I fear that people will think that sometimes I do, because I am so real and raw and authentic on the show, and I let people know who I really am. I am susceptible. I am vulnerable to being judged. And the more you put yourself out there in the world, the more people judge you. And that's just the nature of this business that I decided to embark on. I'll get the answer, don't worry. It does hurt sometimes when you open yourself up and you're real and you're raw with people, and you try and be yourself, and then people don't accept you for who you are. So I say all that to preface that your answer immediately was lifestyle, spending more time with your family, spending more time with your daughter, spending time with me, tongue in cheek. That is very important to me, but it is not the top of my list. And I could answer it. I could bullshit you guys just to save face a little bit. But the truth is that I'm just ultimately just trying to live my best life. And I know what drives me. I know what fulfills me. I know what keeps me at my best running at full speed. I know exactly the different boxes that I need to check every day in order for me to be at my best. And I need to be constantly growing and becoming the best version of myself.
Yep.
So growth is a huge part of my fulfillment. If I am stagnant, if I am still, I don't, you know, Gabby knows this. She'll know, like if I'm having
you're the worst version of yourself.
I'm the worst version of myself.
Yeah, Everly knows it too.
So I need to be working on something,
Yeah.
or I need to be building something, or I need to be building and developing on myself, personal growth.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not, it's almost like I go from 100 down to 30 immediately. And in that state, I'm not my best in other aspects and areas of my life. And this has been through a lot of personal development and understanding myself. And this is what I teach our students as well, is that you really need to understand, you know, what fulfills you.
Know thyself.
What's that?
Know thyself.
Yeah, we have a great exercise that we do. We're doing it yearly now at our retreats with our mentees. So our next retreat is going to be coming up this fall. We have a great exercise we do. It's called the 5 Elements of Fulfillment. It's loosely based off of Tony Robbins' exercise that we kind of recreated to make it our own. But ultimately, there's different areas that are important. That are these 5 areas determine how fulfilled you are, and it's different for everyone. And growth is the biggest thing for me. And I just learned over the years through really getting to know myself and really understanding myself, is that growth is the most important part for me. And if I don't have that checked off, then I can't be my best with my family. I can't be my best day to day with my responsibilities in our business and in our life. So I need to make sure that I am constantly growing at all times in order for me to be my best in other areas. So in order for me to be the best dad, the best husband, the best coach, the best human being just in society, I need to make sure that I'm checking that box. So my favorite part about being a real estate investor full-time and an entrepreneur, like, cause I'd say I'm 20% a real estate investor. I'm 80% an entrepreneur. I don't think most people understand that. Most of my day does not involve real estate investing. Like, our real estate investments are like almost like our RRSPs. You put money into your RRSP account and you never fucking look at it. And you're like, I have RRSPs. Let me just pull up the statement. That's kind of like what our real estate investments are for me. I go and I buy them. I acquire them, I set it up, I set up our systems, but I'm not involved in them. So I am 20% real estate investor, full-time real estate investor. I'm 80% entrepreneur and CEO.
Yeah.
And that right there, the ability to be able to get into real estate investing and to be able to create this new life that we've created, to be who I am meant to be able to constantly grow and become the best version of myself, has basically allowed me to be at my best at all times. If I went to my job every day, I would be at my worst. Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't say I was pathetic, but I just wasn't fulfilled. And you could tell the difference. Like, if this all fucking fell out underneath us and I had to go back to whatever my previous career was, whatever it's been so long. I suddenly understand why people are so depressed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's diagnosed or undiagnosed. I suddenly understand why depression is so incredibly high. I suddenly understand why that person reacted the way that they did in public to me when I said, excuse me. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're like, man, that guy's a fucking dick.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if you had his life.
Yeah.
Right? So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it why people want more. I get it why people are like, no, I want to invest in real estate because I want financial freedom. Somebody told me I could get financial freedom here. Where's the line for financial freedom? I get it because if this were all gone and I didn't have what I have, fuck me, I'd be the worst.
Yeah.
So that's my favorite part, is that, like, I want to just kind of go back to what you had said earlier about leverage. Once I understood leverage, it was like, okay, I'm going to take this $15,000 that we have and just buy a rental property. And gosh golly, I hope it goes up in value. And I hope there's a little bit of cash flow. And I think I was thinking about something the other day, Gabby. What if we put all of our cash flow into a reserve fund so that way we never had to pull money out of our own pocket, and the property could almost be its own little business. It's almost like sustainable business. It's like it spits out cash flow and the cash flow repairs it. It's almost like, you ever see those what do they call it? Like those infinite machines. There's a word for it. Somebody help me with the word, but it's, you ever see like the kind of like a watering. Please, my God, I was making a really good point. And
like a fountain that circulates the water.
Yes. Yeah, there's a term for it, but it's like an infinite loop of just, it constantly just keeps going. There's a term for it, but I'm just at a loss of words.
All I can think of is a fountain.
Sure. Well, it's the windmill wheel, perpetual motion. Thank you, perpetual motion machine. That's what I was looking for. Thank you, Luke. It's perpetual.
Thank you, Southside Strangler.
Thank you, Southside Strangler. But it's the perpetual motion of it, where it's like, you buy something and it just perpetually just keeps on taking care of itself. There's this old YouTube video or whatever, but it was like this piece of art that is just like this mechanical machine that like scrapes the oil, and then the oil lubricates itself, and then it scrapes the oil. It's perpetual. So that's kind of like early on I was like, oh, this is brilliant. I'm going to buy a piece of real estate. I came up with this really cool idea, right? And I'll admit, not many other, I don't want to be like I was the one that invented that idea. I was the first one that came up with it. Like, other people were kind of sort of doing this, but nobody was teaching this. And when I came up with the idea that like, I'm going to put all the cash flow back into this so that it's just fully a self-sustainable, self-sustainable business, I thought that was it. And I thought this was just absolutely brilliant. I'm going to buy this piece of real estate. And I hope I can save up more money to buy more of these things, these self-sustainable, little businesses that take care of themselves, that just over the long term, next 20 years, are going to generate solid returns. Then I learned about leverage, and I thought, I learned that like you can pull the equity out of that and buy another one. It's like, wait a second, this thing's not only spitting out cash flow and then self-lubricating itself over and over and over again. There's no joke involved in that. Just because I said self-lubricating doesn't mean there has to be a joke.
I didn't say anything.
I saw you look at the screen. But this self-lubricating thing also can reproduce. Okay, there is a joke in here somewhere. There is a joke in here. There's a joke in here. But basically is that you can build this thing and then it reproduces equity that you can pull out and basically create another one that just self-sustains. And I was like, wow, this is fucking awesome. How can I leverage this to its full potential? To its full capacity? Like, how many times can I do this over and over again? Then you learn about all these different strategies about like, oh wow, you don't need to save up money. You don't even need to borrow equity from those first properties. You can go and use seller financing, or you can find other people that want to create these self-sufficient, self-sustainable machines, these businesses that run on themselves, and you just keep building and building and building. And once you understand all these things, it's like, wow, like the possibilities are endless for this. And that's just like, it totally like blew my mind. And once I understood that, I was like, I've been fascinated and obsessed with it ever since. Absolutely fascinated and obsessed with it. It's so incredibly cool what's possible with real estate investing. And I wish more people understood it. I was going down a different path. I just looked at the clock, and I could go on for hours about why I love this and what my favorite parts about it are. Leverage, what you had said earlier, Gabby, is just, it's an absolute game changer. Yeah. It's an absolute game changer because you can basically build an infinite amount of possibilities and wealth. Infinite. It's infinite. If you understand the strategies, you will recognize the opportunities. And the opportunities are absolutely infinite. The only thing that we don't have, the one thing that is a finite, fixed part of this equation and formula is time. That's the only thing that's fixed in this whole equation. Because I could sit here and I can add so many different, cool parts to the formula that can help you expedite and leverage this to the max. Like, the BRRRR strategy and agreements for sale and rent to owns and private lending, RSP mortgages, fix and flips, adding secondary suites, adding garden suites to the backyard, all these other cool things that we can do to maximize your profits as much as possible. There's so many different things that we can add in, but the one thing that is fixed in this whole formula, mathematically, is time. So there is a finite amount that you can do within a certain period of time.
Yeah.
That's why I told people weeks ago, like, you need to start as soon as possible. You need to start in your 20s, right? You need to, because it's just time that we cannot recreate. That's time that we cannot multiply. We have a finite amount of time. So the sooner you start, the sooner you can start building, right?
And the more possibilities you have.
It can only start from one little sapling, one little seed, right? That's all. But the potential is infinite.
Yeah.
So get started right away. I strongly recommend it. I hope that today was the moment that you realize, wow, I really do need to pull my head out of my ass. I really do need to really start just going full-fledged, full dedicated into this. The sooner you start, the sooner you can realize all that potential, all that leverage potential, all that opportunity. And anyone, and I mean fucking anyone, can do this.
Yeah, there's a comment. There's a comment here that says you're making it so that more people can understand it. Yeah.
It's not my favorite part about being a full-time real estate investor, but it is one of those things that I never really thought would be a part of it. When I made the decision that I was going to buy a rental property, and I came up with those cool systems and how I'm going to make that rental property the highest returns, the highest profits, and the lowest risk. I never would have imagined that I'd be in a position today where I can not just leverage what I created and build a bigger portfolio, but I'd be in a position where I can leverage everything that I've learned and all of the different, the community and the network that I've created to help other people as well. So I've taken it from this little sapling, this little seed, and I've created this tremendous life for ourselves, which I get to now grow even further into other lives as well. And I'm incredibly grateful for everything that has been created and everything that will be created. Yeah. And it's what gets me up every day, early every morning, to have this conversation with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that we can think we know where something's going. Like, obviously, Wayne, you came into real estate investing knowing that you were trying to build a better life for us and a better future and, all those things. That's where it started. But then to know that, like, okay, yes, all those things came true, but that there was also so much more in the journey. And it goes back to, what I was saying about, all of this is beyond what my vision was. And there's just so much more at the end. When you challenge yourself to grow and do new things and learn new things and implement new things, you're going to get more than just the outcome of that action. You're going to get like so much more out of life because of it. Yeah. It's really cool.
Yeah. One of the coolest parts that we didn't even talk about?
What?
Is that we're still so fucking young.
Well,
you know
thank
what I mean?
you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you.
We are still we are middle-aged. Like, we're only halfway there if you think about it from
even
20 to 60. You know what I mean? If you assume that like 60 is like the deadline, which it's not. But most people are like, I need to have all this shit figured out by the time I'm in my 60s in time for retirement. And we tell people to start when they're 20. We're only halfway there. And it's just like how much we've built. And I think that I can't see any other way that we could have built as much as we have, what we built. As quickly without taking on more risk or done it unethically. Right? So I don't think that when I look back and be like, what could I have done differently? There's nothing that I would have changed because we did it with morals in mind and ethics and with the gates that we put in place in order to protect ourselves. The only way it could have been bigger is if we had jeopardized any of those. Yeah. And that's a non-negotiable for me. So now that we have what we have, it's like, now I'm like, every time I come up with something new or I do something different, the next big opportunity that I'm always talking about is always just like, holy fucking shit. You know what I mean? It's
The next
always
thing,
just like,
yeah.
holy
Amped
fuck.
up,
Like,
amped up.
it's
Yeah.
like amped up, like 10x doesn't even, like the garden suites that I'm like, that I've been working on for the last 2 years. And I've left little breadcrumbs for you guys. If you listen every single day since June of 2024, you would have heard the breadcrumbs. So you would have heard like, I'm fucking working on shit. Like the stuff that I work on in the background is just like, it's fucking so incredibly cool. And it makes me so, I need to end the show, but it makes me so incredibly excited for what's coming next. The things that I haven't even come up with yet, or the things that I haven't even built, because I get to keep leveraging everything that I've built. Every year, I get to leverage what I've created. And that's through resources, through equity, through cash flow, through partnership, relationships, and through knowledge. Every time I learn something, it's like I get to leverage that almost at like 80% loan to value, and I get to 5x it every single time, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everything that I learn, it's like that opens up a whole new level for me to learn something else.
Yeah.
And it's just, it excites me to wake up every day and to want to develop something new, to create something new, to build something better for ourselves, to make it bigger, better, greater, and then share that with others and just like amplify it. I love this life that we created. I love it. It's not just about cash flow, guys. It's not about counting doors. It's about building a fucking fulfilling life. And I love it so fucking much.
Hey, you guys, that's our show for today. I'm cutting him off, cutting you off. No, this was awesome. I love this chat. I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.
Share this episode,
Yeah.
guys. If you stick around to the end, share this episode with somebody who needs to hear this. Please.
Yeah.
This could absolutely change someone's life.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. Want to be coached personally by Wayne and Gabby? Then you should join the Real Estate Investing Masters Mentorship Program. Details are in the show notes to get started.